Hap Happy Saturday and welcome to Eden Valley Walk-ins Basketball. Your home for men's basketball from the Eden Valley Walk-in School District. We're excited to bring you a game between, a non-conference game but today between the Eagles and the Lester Prairie Bulldogs. Starting today for the Bulldogs, you got number 2, junior, 6'1", Eli Lamont. Freshman, 5'11", Bennett Herman, number 5. 5'11", junior, Kason Wallstrom. 5'11", senior, Harrison Enga. And senior 5'11", Corey Schauer. For the Eagles, you got number 1, 6'1", senior guard Braden Becker. Junior 6'1" guard, number 3, Caleb DeRose. Sophomore 5'11" guard, number 11, Bryce Nyman. Senior 6'1", 6'3" forward, number 2, Preston Langer. And then lastly, to round this out, lastly but not leastly, we have 6'4", sophomore forward, Tate Kraft. So again, this is a non-conference game here between the Eagles and the Bulldogs, but should nonetheless be a fun game. Both teams have a pretty similar record, actually. And I think the Eagles will match up well today against the Bulldogs. So coaches today are for the Lester Prairie Bulldogs. We've got head coaches Andrew Dahl, assisted by Adam Engel, Blaine Wallstrom, and Spencer Radke. And then, of course, for your Eagles, it's the one and only Jacob Anderson as the head coach, assisted by Adam Langer and Josh Street. Bulldogs win the tip-off. Moving around here. Trying to get something going here. Not a lot of height for the Bulldogs. So something we've seen the Eagles struggle with a little bit off and on is with not having height is just trying to get that open look, open shot, quick cut to the lane, because you're not going to just be able to throw it down on the post and just dominate over top of everybody. Nyman with the ball up the floor here. Hands it off to Braden Becker, to Langer. Kicks it out to DeRose in the corner. DeRose drives through into the key. Fakes a pass and then takes a fadeaway jumper that falls for 2. The Eagles break the scoring here with the first 2 points. Ball for the Bulldogs pass all the way across court. 3-point attempt is off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Kraft. Handed off eventually to Nyman, who's going to take the ball up the floor. No pressing yet by the Bulldogs. Becker has the ball in the wing, drops it down to Kraft down low. He takes a fadeaway jumper from the block, comes up a little short, ends up in DeRose's hand, who's able to follow through with a front rim layup and is fouled in the process. Shot's good, so opportunity for a 3-point play here for Caleb DeRose. DeRose makes that one count, brings the score now to 5-0 for your Eagles. Bulldogs quickly up the floor. Into the hands of Eli Lamont. He tried to fake and lost the handle on the ball. Ends up out of bounds, Eagles ball. DeRose into Nyman. Nyman calmly brings the ball up the floor. Sophomore takes a fadeaway jump shot that's just a little bit short. As with most fadeaway jump shots, when they miss. They tend to be short just due to the falling away nature. Nyman to DeRose on the fast break opportunity. DeRose just a little strong on that layup attempt, but rebounded by Becker, who has it out to Nyman now on the wing. Nyman drives baseline, kicks it wide to DeRose. DeRose drives, kicks it out to Langer, to Kraft. Kraft fakes a shot, brings that ball down low, goes for the layup, comes off a little bit, but kicks it out to he rebounds his own shot, kicks it out to Becker, who's a little bit long on the 3-ball. Rebounded by the Bulldogs, and now look to set up their own offense. Bulldogs swing that ball around. Bulldogs looking to get something going here. 13 seconds left on the shot clock. They haven't been able to get much on the cutters. Just keeping it out by the 3-point line. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. They are going to have to take whatever they can get here in a second. And on the driving attempt there by Bennett Herman, he throws the ball away. Nyman has the ball on the right wing. Drops it to Kraft. Down on the post. Swings it across to Becker. Up to the point to Langer, who takes a 3-point shot that is just a little off. Out of bounds, and now is Bulldogs ball. Bulldogs look to get a fast break going here. And they're just having a hard time getting anything going low, but they get a nice 3-point attempt there by Corey Schauer, who comes out a little bit off. Rebounded for another 3-point attempt there by Kason Wallstrom. That one is also a little bit off. So far, those threes have not been able to fall. DeRose with a nice move and a left-handed layup attempt. It's just a little bit off its mark. Score stays the same at 5-0. Rebounded by the Bulldogs, and is brought across half. Coach Andrew Dahl wants to talk about it for a second. Had a full timeout here by the Bulldogs as they kind of want to figure out something to get going here because they haven't been able to break down into the paint at all and score. So makes it tough. I mean, not that game's definitely not out of hand by any stretch. Only one foul by both teams. One's on the Bulldogs. Pretty clean game so far. But the Bulldogs are definitely going to want to find a way to pressure and get the ball down low. And we're back to basketball here. Bulldogs pass that ball into the corner. Moving around to the point. Back out to the wing, and a 3-point shot. That's just a little bit off its mark again. That shot by Wallstrom. Nyman brings the ball up the floor off the rebound. To Becker on the wing. Becker tries to pass it in the post to Kraft, and that ball is kicked out of bounds by Bennett Herman. So it'll be Eagles ball on their own baseline. Nyman looking to set the play up and pass it in. Over to Kraft, down low. Kraft drop steps a couple times, spin around and layup there. Over top of his defender, Wallstrom. Makes it for the first time in the game so far that somebody other than Caleb DeRose has scored. There's only been 3 baskets scored, so not a huge feat, but nonetheless. 7-0 for the Eagles so far. 13.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Bulldogs moving that ball around, looking to get something going. Kick it out to the corner for Shower. Ball is bobbled around there between the Bulldogs and Eagles player. I believe that was Matt Hearing who just came in. And now that's Eagles ball. It was knocked out of bounds by the Bulldogs. So on the floor for your Eagles, we've got DeRose, Hearing, Nyman, Tate Kraft, and Braden Becker. Nyman with the long three goes wide. Catches Kraft a little bit off surprise as it kind of was a sharp dropping rebound. But he manages to wrangle it in and kicks it out to DeRose, who now looks to get it set up on the perimeter. To Nyman, who drives through. Nyman fakes a shot, tries to get something going. He takes a fadeaway that takes a shooter's touch, hits the back of the rim, the front, and falls in. That's Nyman's first points of the game. Bulldogs send the ball up the floor, try to get a quick three-point shot, and that's an air ball. Rebounded by Becker, who hands the ball off to Hearing, and Hearing is going to bring the ball up the floor. Hearing dishes it off to Becker, to Nyman. Nyman with another fadeaway jumper. Just a little bit off. Kraft is in there trying to rebound it, and he manages to get his hands on it long enough to try to throw it off the feet of one of the Leicester Prairie players, but ends up getting called for a foul. So that'll be the first team foul. First for Kraft, first for the team today. Score 9-0 with 12 minutes left to go in the first half. Leicester Prairie brings the ball up the floor. They're moving that ball around all the way across to the corner. Trying to get a quality shot here. And they finally break the ice there. Number 11, Corey Shower manages to get a layup in over to Rose for 2 points. Score is now 9-2 for the Eagles. Becker passes it off to Langer at the point. Langer drives, dishes out to the wing to Becker, who drives, dishes out to Nyman, who drives, hands it off to Hearing, who drives and has his pocket picked. And quickly the other way by the Bulldogs. And that's Shower, who's starting to heat up there, as that's his second layup in a row. Brings the score 9-4. Hearing over to Becker. And we got a foul by the Bulldogs with a hold. The hold is on number 5, Bennett Herman. Second team foul for the Bulldogs. And that was on Becker. So it was on the floor. Eagles ball from below the baseline. Pass it out to DeRose. It gets a pretty clean look for a three, and he drains that one all the way from downtown Paynesville. Caleb DeRose with a three-pointer. Bulldogs bring the ball up the floor. We got a foul call by Caleb DeRose. It's called on him for the foul. I'm not really sure there was much of a foul there, but regardless, the refs saw what they saw, and they've done a pretty good job so far in this game, so we'll take his word for it. Bulldogs ball down low. They pass it out, spread the ball around. They get a three-point shot off. That's wide right. Rebounded by Nyman, who takes the ball up the floor himself. Nyman goes to the point, drives, kicks it out to Langer, who thinks about shooting three, but then passes it across to Nyman again. Hearing right down the left lane, and lays it in. Nice driving play there by Matt Hearing for his first points of the game. And then going the other way, we had a driving attempt there by Corey Shower. The ball knocked out of his hands by DeRose, and they're going to call him for that. Kraft is going to come back into the game here and give Nyman a break. Nope, going to give DeRose a break. A little bit of confusion here. And there's a little bit of frustration by the head coach, Andrew Dahl, because they were going to do it from below the basket, and there was a little miscommunication there by the refs, which happens. One ref was going to do it below the basket, but it was on the driving shot attempt is what they had originally called the foul. And so Shower gets to shoot again from the free throw. Makes the first. And makes the second. So that makes the score now 14-6, with all 6 points for the Bulldogs being scored by Shower. Langer to Nyman on the wing. Nyman looks to drive, kicks it off on a really nice pick and roll to Langer, who fakes going up, gets collapsed on, and passes it across to Herring, who fakes his defender out and puts it in for a layup. Now a 10-point lead for your Eagles, as they're starting to get a little bit more going offensively, get things flowing a little bit better. Really contested three-point attempt there by the Bulldogs, comes up off the mark, rebounded by Herring, who brings the ball up the floor. Herring drops it down on the post to Kraft, who looks to get something going. Swings it out to Langer on the three-point. Langer sends up his left-handed shot that's just a little bit long and off the back of the rim. Sometimes it takes him 1 or 2 shots to get warmed up there, but once he starts getting warmed up, man, he is money from all over the floor. So I'd expect those shots to turn from bricks to money here very shortly. Long three-point attempt there from the point by the Bulldogs is wide left off the backboard. Rebounded by the Eagles. Now Nyman drives, brings the ball up the floor. On the left lane, kicks it to Kraft on the right lane, and Kraft's able to lay it in. Bulldogs move that ball around the floor. And what's been pretty much their favorite shot that hasn't fallen yet, but they've taken another three-pointer that's off the mark. Nyman drives, he's contested there by a couple players, kicks it over to Herring, who's able to lay it in. Herring is a great energy player. He's a 5'11" sophomore. And man, just comes off the bench with a ton of energy for the Eagles. We've got a score of 20-6 right now for your Eden Valley Watkins Eagles, with the 30-second timeout going to the Bulldogs here. They were kind of climbing back in the game a little bit, and they kind of getting a little bit out of hand now this first half. So Coach Dahl wants to just sit down and have a little conversation here and say, okay guys, let's not let this one get too far away. But Eagles are getting going on the fast break and getting things happening the way they need them to happen. So all right. Coach brings Hiltner into the game now, giving Langer a break. So on the floor you got Kraft, Hiltner, Nyman, Becker, and Herring. Another three-point attempt by the Bulldogs is wide left. Shower tries to shoot that one over Hiltner, and it comes up short on the rebound, or on the layup attempt rather, but he's able to rebound it and kick it out wide. Rebounded there off that missed layup attempt by Tate Kraft. Braylon Hiltner is a 6'5" junior forward. The tallest player on the team. Does a good job coming off the bench for Coach Anderson. Adds some height, some length. Some great defensive effort down there from him. We had a layup attempt there blocked by Kraft, who knocked the ball out of bounds. Bulldogs from their own baseline look to pass the ball in all the way up to the three-point line. So they move that ball around the perimeter now, looking to get something going here. Still lots of time left on the shot clock. Floating layup attempt there by Eli Lamont. Misses wide left, rebounded by the Eagles. Nyman being challenged on the perimeter there. He has the ball knocked out of his hands, but gets it back. Off to Hearing, who gives it out to Becker now. Becker drops it down in the post to Hiltner, with the ball knocked out of his hands by Lamont. Shower throws the ball up the floor quickly for the Bulldogs, and he gets a three-point shot off that rims in and out. Rebounded by Nyman, who brings the ball up the floor quickly. Nyman on a really nice pass play. Dishes it off to Becker, and Becker is fouled on the layup attempt. That is the third team foul now for the Bulldogs. And Becker's shot was not good, so he'll get 2 free throws. Becker just a little long on the first free throw. Anderson's going to give Nyman a break and bring Langer back into the game. Becker a little long on that one again, but rebounded by the Eagles, so they get another go at it here. Hearing cuts through and does the reverse layup that's just a little bit off. And as he was trying to follow up on his rebound, he fouled one of the Bulldogs players. So that'll be his first foul, team's fourth. Bulldogs ball from their own backcourt as they pass the ball in and bring the ball up the floor. Bulldogs pass the ball around the perimeter. They keep trying to drive one way or the other and kick the ball out to one of the wings. See if they can't get a mismatch for a shot opportunity here. And Lamont brings the ball down right through the lane and tries to lay it up, but he's a little bit off on the contest by Kraft. Rebounded by Kraft. Back the other way here. Hearing drops it down to Hiltner. Was the ball ripped out of his hands. Now we got a travel attempt there by Alex Perez by the Bulldogs on his layup attempt. He had Kraft looking to come and contest that ball. And now coach will bring DeRose back in and give Hiltner a bit of a break. Sometimes when you're a tall post player, you got to keep that ball up high because you keep it down low and they collapse guards down on you, which is what they've been doing. The problem is then the ball gets ripped out of your hands a little bit easy because the guys that are a little shorter there, that's more of their, their strength spot. And for you, it's not quite so much. So when you're a little bit taller, you got to keep that ball up a little bit higher if you can when you're doing your spins and drops. Otherwise, those balls get hit and contested quite a bit more. On the fast break attempt there by Shower, he's fouled by Kraft. So he'll get to shoot 2. See if he can add to his point total here. That's the team's 7th and Shower's 7th point. Shower lines up for his second shot here as Kraft blocked the ball but fouled him, so it didn't get anywhere near the rim. And Shower swishes that one. Score is 20-8 for the Eagles. Nyman has the ball. Brings it over to DeRose on the wing. Swings it down to Langer down low in the corner. Back up to Nyman on the wing. As they cycle through, DeRose looks to get a three-point shot. Kicks it out to Nyman on the high wing. And Nyman drains that three-pointer all the way from downtown Kimball. Score now is 23-8. Bulldogs looking if they can't get something going. Lamont tries the high free throw shot there, but misses. Quickly back the other way from DeRose to Nyman, who drains the jumper from Jay. Score now 25-8 for the Eagles. Just under 5 minutes left to go in the first half. Another three-point attempt, wide and out of place there for the Bulldogs. Brecker runs the ball up the floor quickly and tries to pass it across to Langer, and the shot and the pass is just a little off. Langer can't pull it in. Bulldogs get the ball on the sideline. Bring the ball up the floor. Moving around the perimeter. Try to pass it down low, and that ball is knocked away. Becker quickly the other way and goes up for the layup. He's contested there and doesn't quite get it. DeRose with the layup attempt. He tries to go up, and he can't do it. DeRose tries to go up again and is blocked. Picked up by the Bulldogs, and that shot misses. And now we have a foul on Kason Wallstrom by Langer, I believe. Yep, they called that on Preston Langer, so it's out. It's going to be 2 free throw shots. Anderson having a conversation with one of the refs about the series there with DeRose, as it looked like DeRose got fouled, at least for sure on that second shot, but they didn't call it, so you're not fouled if it's not called. Wallstrom seeing if he can be the first non-shower person to score, and he does. He has 1 point of his own. Score now 25-9 in favor of your Eagles. Nyman takes a long three-pointer that's just a little bit off the rim and rolls around. DeRose and one of the Bulldogs players compete for that rebound, but picked up by the Bulldogs player. They move the ball around the perimeter. Wallstrom looking to get something going. Passes it to Harrison Engen, who takes a long three-pointer that misses. Quickly the other way by Hearing as he looks to drive. He pulls up a little short, hands it off to Becker, who hands it back to Hearing. They set up the pick and roll. Becker goes up, and his layup is good. Brings that score to 27-9, just a little over 3 minutes left to go in the game. Bulldogs just trying to see if they can get anything really going around the perimeter here. Layup attempt there off of a heads-up play by Engen. Comes up short, rebounded by the Eagles. DeRose drives the ball down, dishes it off to Nyman, who's fouled pretty hard there by one of the Bulldogs players. That's the 4th team foul there for the Bulldogs. 6 team fouls for the Eagles, so the next one will put them into bonus. Coach brings Braden Molitor in and gives DeRose a bit of a break. But we got a 3-point shot from all the way downtown Manana by Becker. Bulldogs just keep moving that ball around the perimeter. Drive and dish to the three-point line, drive and dish to the three-point line. They've just not been able to get much going. But one of the Eagles players stepped off of Alex Mahina, and he's able to lay it in. And the newly into the game, Molitor gets a fast break up the floor where he lays it up and is fouled by Shower. It'll be the 5th team foul for the It'll be the 5th team foul there by the Bulldogs, and Molitor's shot was good, and he takes his free-point shot to make it a 3-point play, and that shot is good. We had a warning call by the ref. I think that was against the Eagles, but it was a warning call. Something to do with the delay of the game, so no harm right now, but Shower takes a long three-pointer there. And he's fouled by Becker, so he's going to get to shoot 3 points here. Score right now 33-11. Schauer, who has all but 3 of the Bulldogs' points, will look to get to add 3 more. First one rims in and out. Makes the second. We got a little under 2 minutes left to go in the game here. And he makes his third. So he gets 2 of the 3 points there. Cut it to a 20-point lead. Scored 33-13. A minute and 45 seconds left to go in the game. Herring up the floor, passes it to Becker, who was challenged pretty hard there by Jake Schauer, freshman. He's throwing his body into him quite a bit there, and they'll call that at this level as a foul just about all the time. So that's the team 6 foul. Herring passes it into Nyman. Nyman takes the point. Passes it to Becker on the wing. Becker dishes it off to Langer. Langer drives down and is called for an offensive charge, as the Bulldogs player looked like he got his feet planted, and they called him for a charge on that one. Coach is going to bring Hiltner back in and give Langer a bit of a break. Minute and a half left here as the Bulldogs bring the ball up the floor. And a bad pass on the perimeter ends up sailing out of bounds for the Bulldogs. Eagles ball. Nyman brings the ball up the floor. He's collapsed on there, but he passes it off to Herring quick. Herring drives down and does the layup where he's contested, but they didn't call a foul, and shot sails wide, rebounded by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs looking to get something set up. Put it in the hands of leading scorer Schauer for the Bulldogs. He drives down the left lane, tries the reverse layup, and that ball ends up going wide. He's able to kind of rebound it as he's headed out of bounds, but he throws the ball in, attempts to throw the ball in. They called him out of bounds as he went crashing through the tail end of the Eagles' chairs there. Herring into Nyman. 41 seconds left as he crosses the half. So it's just off the shot clock by 10 seconds. Up to Molitor on the point. Molitor down to Hiltner down low. Passes it into Becker, who sends it across to Nyman. And the ball's knocked out of bounds. It'll be Eagles ball on the low sideline in front of the Bulldogs bench. Nyman passes that ball into Herring. Herring down to Becker. Nearly has the ball knocked away, but Herring spins around. Goes in for a layup attempt. And that ball gets batted around by a few players, and Herring attempts to throw it off the feet of one of the Bulldogs players, and that ball ends up out of bounds. But called on out of bounds by the Eagles. So with 7 seconds left on both the shot and game clock, the Bulldogs look to get something going here, and they get a wild three-pointer put up that sails long. And that's the way the half's going to end. So right now, the score for going into the half is the Eagles 33 and the Bulldogs 13. 8 fouls for the Eagles to 6 for the Bulldogs, and we're going to step away from the half, and we will be back here for your second half of the Eagles basketball in roughly 10 minutes. All right, we are back with the second half of your Eagles basketball game here against the Leicester Prairie Bulldogs. For those that missed the exciting first half, the score right now is 33-13 for the Eagles. Coach starts with the original starting five. Rose with a nice three-point attempt there, just a little bit wide right. Rebounded by the Bulldogs, but then knocked away by Nyman. Swings that ball up to the point to Langer. Langer to Kraft. Hands it off to Becker, who takes it up across the point. To Langer, to DeRose. DeRose and Langer look to set up a... My word, I just totally gapped on a pick and roll play there. I'm so sorry. I meant to say pick and roll, and it just didn't even come out of my mouth. Shot attempt by the Eagles comes up short and rebounded by the Bulldogs. Pass down low is put in for the first points of the game by Bennett Herman. Diamond moves that ball around. This time with the pick and roll with Kraft. Kraft is called for travel on that, so the shot is no good. Bulldogs send that ball in. Bulldogs have really struggled to get a lot of shots going, other than long distance contested threes, which they have not fared well in all game. The second down low shot there, this time by Kason Wallstrom. Makes it 4 quick points there for the Bulldogs. Nyman looking to get things going in their favor. He drives and does the fadeaway shot that's just a little bit off. Rebounded by the Bulldogs. Shower takes the ball down low and he's looking to get something up. He is fouled there by Nyman. Foul is going to be on the floor. I believe that's Nyman's second foul. And that's the first one of the half for the Eagles. They're going to call that on the shot, which I didn't think he was shooting at all, but we're going to call that one on the shot. And he's going to get 2 free throw attempts here. Makes the first. Showers had most of the points for the Bulldogs today. He's got a pretty shot, that's for sure. Switches both of those through. Brought up the floor quickly by Becker here. Becker drives to the center of the lane, kicks it out wide to Nyman, back to DeRose, who takes a long three-pointer. And DeRose drains that one all the way from downtown Manana. Back the other way by the Bulldogs as they move that ball around. Seem to be doing a little bit better at getting into the post to get a couple of shots off. But that time they kicked it out for a three-point. That went wide, although they rebounded their own shot. Shower drives to the lane. And they're going to call Kraft now on a foul. On the layup attempt there by Shower. And so Shower will get to shoot 2 more. Shower puts the first point up. And that one he misses, the first shot I should say. And he misses that one. Herring comes in for Kraft. I'm not sure I saw much that looked like a foul on that play, but of course I'm not sitting on the floor and seeing what the refs see. But I did see Kraft swing his arm, and a lot of times when you see a missed shot and an arm swinging, that's often going to get called a foul because it's just the luck of it. So this time now we have a foul by the Bulldogs as Nyman was trying to drive from right to left through the center of the key. He's pushed away there by number 25, Harrison Engen. And that'll be their first team foul here. Nyman to DeRose in the corner. DeRose Drives down low. He's looking to get something going here. He's spinning around trying to find an opening. Kicks it out to Langer, who's just a little bit long on his three-point attempt there. And now they're going to call another foul on the Eagles players. This one they're going to call on Nyman again. Calling him for a push on that rebound attempt. And Schauer brings the ball up the floor for the Bulldogs. Another long three-pointer, misses the rim completely for the Bulldogs. You know, most of basketball, to a degree, is a law of averages or percentages, if you will. And so, you know, if you take a good three-point shooter, he's going to be somewhere right around that 35 to 40% mark on three-pointers. Probably more around the 35% mark, and for math's sake, let's just call it 33. So for every third shot that goes up, that's a made three-pointer. And so I believe, you know, if there's the statisticians, and I don't have the numbers by any stretch here, but I know the statisticians will look at it unless you have a layup right next to the rim. You know, your two-point shot and those percentages, which are higher, often don't, you know, if you average it out over time, you actually score more points, which is why, you know, games like the NBA have switched to a lot of three-point shooting, where, you know, if a guy can shoot that 35 and even 40% from three, that makes a huge difference in today's game, because it just, the averages say that over time, you're going to win a lot more games and score a lot more points. So, not that I necessarily disagree with the team shooting a lot from the three-point line, but here the Bulldogs are, I don't think they've made a three-pointer today, honestly. And so that percentage is low. Now the other way here, we got a bit of an issue here. We got a foul here by Becker on the driving attempt there by the Bulldogs, and Coach Anderson is going to have a little talk. Now there's 3 drives and 3 fouls here, all pretty consecutively by the Eagles. So Coach is going to talk a little bit about that, because it's working a little bit. They've cut the lead now to 14 points, the Bulldogs have, from 20. If they keep chipping away at that rate, this is going to get to be a much more interesting game down the stretch. So I think Jake Manderson is going to try to right the ship here and settle things down and kind of pull the guys away from some of them fouls on those drives. They don't need to. The Bulldogs to this point have not shown the ability to shoot, as we just went over with the 3 points, not even one made. So they don't need to be pushing things really. The Eagles don't, because the Bulldogs are not making their shots. But if you keep getting a lot of fouls and turning into 3-point shots that way, things are going to get to be a little bit interesting. So, sorry, a little distracting in the gym here with kids yelling out to Neil Diamond here and some Sweet Caroline. So Eli Lamont is going to make it be exactly that, a 3-pointer. Cuts that lead to 13. Herring will bring the ball up the floor here. And he has the ball knocked away from him. And Herring has that ball knocked away from him, and quickly the other way went the Bulldogs. They went to lay it in, and it ended up, sorry, I got a little distracted there from the game. My apologies. Anyways, it ended up as a jump ball on the rebound attempt. And there you go. There's the first 3-point made by the Bulldogs. Now it cuts that lead to 10. Now Herring looks to get things set up. Down to Langer in the corner. Langer drives a little bit. Kicks it to a cutting Kraft, who sends it back to the point to Herring. Across to DeRose. Throws to Herring. Herring drives through the center, and he goes to lay it in, and he is fouled on his as he drives through the center on the layup attempt. So now Herring will get to shoot 2. Third team foul here for the Bulldogs. Herring makes the first one. Game's gotten a little more interesting here in the last 5 minutes. The Bulldogs have come out in the second half with a little different plan that seems to be at this point working, as they've cut 8 points off the lead so far. Score 38-26. Bulldogs now moving that ball around. Looking to do some of it, nope, and they go back to kind of what they settled for early on with a long three-point attempt. It's a little while, but the Eagles have got to settle down on their throws here as they sent it away on a fast break that got taken away. Another three-point attempt there by the Bulldogs that misses the rim completely. So Herring drives it down low and is able to lay it in. Spreads that lead just a little bit more there, gives the Eagles a little more breathing room. Bulldogs trying to go back to some of what they did earlier. Driven in by Schauer, and he's well played there by Kraft. So gets nothing out of that. Herrings tries to drive the ball through the lane, but his ball tipped a little bit, so he can't get a clean shot attempt, but picks it up, heads it out to DeRose, who takes a three-pointer and drains it from all the way downtown Litchfield. We have the ball go back the other way where Harrison Ingen went for the layup, and he is fouled there by Herring. That'll be the 5th team foul. He puts the first shot up and makes that. But misses the second. Lead at 15 right now for the Eagles, 43-27. As Becker looks to get something going. He's fouled in the center of the point there, essentially on the perimeter by Schauer. It's his third foul, team 4th. Be Eagles ball on the side. Langer to pass it in. Sends it across to Kraft, who looks at a cutting DeRose, but hands it off to Herring instead, as DeRose is well covered. Herring's driving, or DeRose is driving the ball around the side, and on the pass play, he's hit on a block by one of the Bulldogs players. And so that'll be the 5th team foul now for the Bulldogs. Refs kind of locking in, calling the game a little tighter. DeRose puts up a three-pointer that rims in and out. So close. Loose ball picked up there by DeRose. On a good heads-up play, he passes it up quickly to Herring, who goes for the layup attempt. And number 10 there, Kieran Barr, looks to try to step in front of the driving Herring, but he doesn't get his feet planted in time, and they call him for a block as well. So now Herring will get 2 shots. Makes that one. Make the first. Get his second shot. Nyman's going to come into the game and give Langer a little breather. So on the floor, you got DeRose, Nyman, Herring, Becker, and Kraft. Herring drains the second. Lead back up to 18 as the Eagles have kind of stabilized a little bit after that early push by the Bulldogs in the second half here. Schauer drives, but can't find anybody quickly to pass it to. And this time it's passed down low to Axel Bahina. And as he goes to lay it up, he's fouled, and he'll get a chance at the three-point play. Coach Anderson is having a conversation there with the ref as he's electing to say there was no contact whatsoever. But the ref's called what the ref's call. You got to play what you got. Not that there's anything wrong with the coaches having a little conversation with the refs, as long as it's done respectfully. That's all part of the game. You got to plead your case a little bit sometimes and have a little bit of a conversation at sometimes. Turnover there from Herring to the Bulldogs. And a fast break layup attempt there by the Bulldogs is good, as they quickly cut that lead back down to 13. And a game that has stayed quite competitive. DeRosa's challenge there. And game's gotten a little chippier all of a sudden. All of a sudden the refs aren't calling, went from calling everything to kind of calling nothing. Eli Lamont takes a three-point shot that he drains from the corner there on the fast break. And if the law of averages or percentages hold true, then it might be a much better shooting half for the Bulldogs in the second half. Fast break there for the Bulldogs off the rebound. Ends up with a layup in. And Coach Anderson's going to stop and have a little conversation with his team, as that lead's gone from 18 points just a minute ago down to 8 points. A quick series of plays there by the Bulldogs. The score is now 45-37. So the Eagles are going to have to get things settled and secure here. Make some good plays on offense and keep standing up on defense like they had. But there's been a lot of fast break opportunity off the rebound. So see if Anderson can get things kind of stabilized here. I'm sure he will. It is Eagles ball. Becker passes the ball into Herring, across to Nyman. Back to Herring, back to Nyman, to DeRosa in the corner, takes a three-pointer. That's just a little bit short, bounces back and ends up rebounded by the Bulldogs. Now Schauer takes his own three-pointer, that misses. And picked up by the Eagles on a real nice heads-up play by Becker, who chased the ball that he had tipped out of bounds and passed it across to Langer. And DeRosa is driving to the rim, and he is fouled there on his layup attempt. So now he'll get to shoot two. That's 17 fouls now for the Bulldogs, just 6 for the Eagles. DeRosa looking to make a couple of free throws here. See if he can get that lead stretched out a little bit. Just a little bit off on that free throw. DeRosa is a great shooter. Every once in a while, like all shooters, if you get a little bit off, you get a little bit off, and he's just a little bit off at the moment. It'll come back here, and he drains that second one. Brings that lead up to 9, 46-37. A little over 9 minutes left to go in the second half. Bulldogs swing that ball around. Ball's knocked away by DeRosa, but quickly picked up by a Bulldogs player. And on the driving attempt there by Bennett Herman, he makes the layup. That's been the biggest difference so far in the second half, is that the Bulldogs have driven and gone for layups and contact versus throwing it out nonstop for the threes. Because when you can do that, A, you put people in foul trouble, B, they stop playing aggressive defense, and C, you're just taking a lot higher percentage shots, especially when your threes aren't falling. And you can shoot to get out of a slump, or you can change it up a little bit and change the type of shot you're taking. See if that changes things. And there, Becker hits a three-pointer from all the way in downtown Richmond. Brings that lead up to 10 now for the Eagles. Nyman picks the pocket of Wahlstrom as he's trying to drive down the lane. And now Nyman is fouled by Lamont up at the point. And it puts them into the bonus here. It's 8 team fouls now. So Nyman will shoot 1 and 1, meaning that if he makes the first shot, he gets the second. If he misses, that's it. So that's the way the bonus works from 7 through 9. And then any fouls 10 and more goes to a double bonus, meaning you automatically get 2 shots. So Nyman made the shot, so he gets to shoot a second here. Makes the first, drains the second, pushes that lead up to 12. Bulldogs trying to get things set up here. Lamont takes a long three-pointer that misses the rim completely. And they're back to settling for that. And it seems to be a bit of a bad habit for the Bulldogs today, is liking to take them long three-pointers, but they just haven't been real money on those. DeRose is met by trapped up at the point there and has the ball taken away from him. But on a beautiful play by Herring on a 3-and-1, he knocks the ball away from the cutting player. Ball is kicked over to DeRose, who takes a three-point shot from the corner that comes up just a little bit short. Quickly up the other way by the Bulldogs. But Nyman saw the pass play coming to under the rim, and he's able to pick it off. Nyman kicks it out to Herring. And then back to Nyman, who takes a three-point shot that is rebounded by the Bulldogs. And the Eagles have to be careful of doing their own same thing if they keep taking a lot of contested threes. That doesn't make for great percentages. Obviously, if you go from a 33% three-point shooter, when you're contesting, that number can drop quite a bit. With the Bulldogs scoring a rebound and layup. To Becker in the corner, who takes a three-point shot, and he drains that three-pointer from all the way in downtown Watkins. Becker with a three-point shot. He's been money from that corner in this half. But it was a nice pick, play, and setup to get an open look for him. Herring challenging one of the Bulldogs players up on the perimeter. The Eagles are a little fired up here as that game got closer. They are putting in their A effort right now. Not that they were ever sleepwalking before, but there's something about a game getting a little closer that makes you start to play with your best. 2-point shot left on the shot clock, and they were driving. Nyman steals the pass play. Quickly up the floor and across to DeRose on the fast break, and DeRose lays that in. Score now 56-41, and the Bulldogs are going to have a conversation. Step away here for 30 seconds, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back here after the timeout. On the floor for the Eagles, Kraft was brought in, so they got Kraft, Herring, DeRose, Nyman, and Becker. And the Bulldogs do a little bit of what brought them success early as they drive towards the rim and try to lay up, but no foul and no layup hit. Ball ends up out of bounds off of a Bulldog's hand. Rose passes it into Herring, and Herring will bring the ball up the floor as he passes it across to Nyman. Nyman back to Herring. Into Kraft, across to Becker, takes another three-point shot. Ooh, that just rips in and out, but Kraft gets a quick layup. Drop step and laid in. That's beautiful. Bulldogs sitting up at the perimeter, looking to get something going. They drive through. Scherer, who was scored all the baskets for a while for the Bulldogs, looked to get something going down low, but he just isn't able to get something going. And he kicks that ball out. Shots made and missed, and rebounded by the Eagles, who have the ball up the floor. DeRose takes control of the point. He passes it over to the wing to Nyman. Nyman cuts through the lane, kicks it back out to Kraft, who takes a wide open three. That misses just a little bit, nearly rebounded by DeRose, but ends up in the hands of the Bulldogs. Schauer takes the ball up the floor. He's going to drive and take the left-handed layup. That drops in. Herring brings the ball back up the floor. Just a little over 4 minutes left to go in the game. Nyman looks to get things set up. Passes to the other wing to Herring, to the corner to DeRose, back to Herring. Herring cuts through to DeRose, kicks it to Becker in the corner, who takes another three. That three is a little bit long, but rebounded by DeRose, who kicks it off to Herring, who takes his own three-pointer that's just a little bit short. And ends up in the hands of the Eagles player. Scherer gets a fast break attempt, and Schauer gets a fast break attempt and is able to lay it in. To Kraft, to Becker, who takes another three-point from the corner. He's not as many luck here with the last couple of shots that he had with the one there, as that one misses the rim. Rebounded by the Bulldogs and quick the other way. One of the things the Eagles need to look to do, as Schauer dribbles through and lays it in. He's also fouled on the shot attempt by Kraft. That's his fourth foul. And now Schauer's going to get a chance to make this a three-point play. Right now the Eagles are up by 11. As the Schauer's done what has worked for the Bulldogs, which is take that basket to the rim, or take that ball to the rim, rather. The basket is the rim. He misses a free throw attempt, is rebounded by the Bulldogs, and then picked by Becker on the pass. Up across the half. Nyman looks to get things going. Nyman is challenged quite a bit there by Engen, and then he is fouled on the reach-in attempt there by Engen. So we try to every game do an inspirational quote that was started by Joe DeRose, who is Caleb's dad, and when I'm not calling games, Joe calls games. And so I've tried to keep it going. So the inspirational quote for today comes from Walt Whitman, and just a nice little simple quote. Keep your face always towards the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. You know, stay focused on the positive, keep moving towards what's good and right in your life, and that darkness falls away. So that's the inspirational quote for today. Nyman misses that second free throw there, and is rebounded by the Bulldogs. Schauer drives to the rim, kicks it out for a three-point attempt. The ball ends up in a bit of a scrum and finally picked up by Engen. He's going to try to drive. He's met there by DeRose. Swings that ball around. And Eli Lamont takes a really long three-pointer that misses. Another three-point attempt here by the Bulldogs. By Engen, ends up out of bounds. Now the Bulldogs are pressing. Becker takes that ball and passes it to Herring, who is fouled there by Alex Peretz. So Herring will get to shoot 2 now as we're into the double bonus. So Herring makes the first shot. Brings the lead back up to 13. For some reason, the Bulldogs are going to sit Shar here, who's their leading scorer by far in this point of the game. Nope, they're not sitting. He was just coming out for a quick drink break. So he comes out, goes for a moment, has a quick drink, and heads back in. I was going to say that makes no sense in a game that's really not out of hand, that you take your leading scorer out, but they just wanted to give a bit of an opportunity. So now we got a foul here on Nyman, who's driving the ball up the floor. By Perez again, trying to reach in and get to him. And Nyman will also get to shoot 2 shots here as we're, again, over that double bonus. Tangle up on the floor as Perez and Nyman end up on the floor. And Shore drives to the basket where he is fouled on the layup attempt. I don't keep track of the exact score of each player, so I'm not sure exactly how many points that Shower has. But he has, Shower has definitely scored a fair bit of the majority of the Bulldogs at 50 points, or 49 points rather. He misses that free throw shot. And so now Nyman breaks the press, brings it up, gets it to DeRose on the wing. DeRose brings it across to the point. Langer looks to set a pick, but DeRose spins out of it, drives to the rim, and lays it in. I'll bring that score or that lead up to 14 points. Shower again down low, is able to get the pick and roll and score quickly. DeRose looking to bring that ball up the floor. He's being challenged there by Shower, and now he's hit pretty hard by a Bulldogs player, number 3, Axel Bahina. Pretty hard collision there, but Bahina was moving his feet, so they're pretty much always going to call the defensive players when they're moving their feet. Trying to go after the ball. About the only time I've ever seen that not called for a defensive foul was if the offensive player was basically losing control and a little bit chaotic, and they could make it do that. So Rose misses his second free throw attempt, and it ends up in the Bulldogs' hands. We got a layup attempt there by the Bulldogs, and after the miss, they're calling a foul by Nyman. And so this is Eli Lamont shooting. No, he'll get 2 free throw attempts. So they called that on the shot. Fouls are 10-9. Score is 63-51. Time on the clock left is 1 minute and 22 seconds. You can never say never, because if the Bulldogs can get some shots to drop quick, you can erase points off the board pretty quickly. But Lamont driving as his pocket picked by Nyman, picked up by Kraft, who brings the ball up the floor. Minute and 5 seconds left to go in the game here as Nyman dribbles towards the center. As they calmly look to get something going. Right now the Eagles will use up a fair amount of their shot clock if they can. But that's not ideal as Herring lost his handle on the ball. And Shower drives through 2 defenders, which they could have called charge or block on that. There's a fair bit of contact. Is able to get the layup to go. Quickly the other way, Becker gets the ball and lays it in for a quick layup. 37 seconds left as they cross the half, the Bulldogs. And they'll look to drive, shoot from just inside the free throw line. Nyman with the rebound. Nyman spins out of trouble. passes the ball off to Herring. 22 seconds left in both the game and shot clock. As Herring is still challenged there by Bahina. And has the ball knocked out of his hands. But it goes over the center line, and as Herring goes to pick it up, they call him for over and back. Apparently the ref felt like he lost the handle and didn't have the ball knocked away. And so now it's going to be Bulldogs ball with 10 seconds left to go on the game clock. Long three-pointer misses for the Bulldogs. They get a layup attempt that misses. Rebounded again by the Bulldogs as they get another layup attempt that misses as well. And that's going to be the end of your game. With your final score for your Eagles is 65-53 on the Eagles' win against Lister Prairie Bulldogs. My name is Mike Harrison. It's been a fun Saturday getting to call Eagles basketball on this wintry, cold January day. Thank you so much for joining us. Pray that you have a great rest of your weekend, and God bless.